that. This is Deep Truths, and we're coming at you with some deep truths. We've got our tea, we've got our cucumber sandwiches, and we are going to have a lovely evening discussing a book that is called A Gift of Ghosts by Sarah Wind. But before we get into that, let's meet the panel, or actually we're a club. We're a real club. So let's start over here.
Hello, I'm Katie.
Hi, I'm Heather.
I'm Janae, the host.
I'm Megan.
And I'm Brittany.
And we are just really excited to be here today. We have a lot to discuss. We have some really exciting things to talk to you about. So let's get started. So let's see what we have on the book news. That's what we're going to start with. And I found a couple pretty good articles today on BookBub, and if you guys are not a part of BookBub, I really highly recommend it. They send me, and if you're not like an email person, you know, I'm old, so it's like fine. But if they send you like emails every day and tell you what's on sale on all the book things, like, so that's where I get a lot of my free books and the 99-cent books. So BookBub. So the first thing that we see here is BookBub is telling us that in October, which is next month, if you didn't know that. Nice. Yeah. Penguin Young readers will be re-releasing A Christmas Carol and Pride and Prejudice, but the catches, or the kicker, is there'll be like new recipes that go along with the books in the books themselves. So I don't know, pigeon pie would be in a Christmas Carol. I don't know. Whatever they eat in a Christmas Carol.
A goose.
The goose.
Yes.
Little Timmy.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to eat
Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
There's
a Christmas Carol.
I'm sure there's a Tiny Tim martini in there somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure that,
There
you know,
should
he's
be.
like, I'm Tiny Tim. I don't know how he behaves, but and then, and then we have Pride and Prejudice with, like, I guess also pigeon pie. They both have pigeon pie.
Very popular.
I'm sure they both, but like Martha Stewart and Ina Garten have both. And there's a few more other people that are chefs that have put in. So I guess it's like a new take on old recipes. So if you want to check them out, look for them in October, and you can cook along with reading. So we like food, we like tea, we like books. I think it'll be perfect for us. So we're gonna have it in a kitchen next time.
Oh, I
no,
love
I'm just kidding.
that.
I
would struggle.
That would stress me out beyond all reason. So we're not gonna do that. What's the next news? So in London, they're gonna have there's gonna have a Yule Ball, like and it's gonna be like the December 13th, 14th, and 15th, I believe. It's at the Warner Brothers Studio Tour, and you can live out your Harry Potter fantasy. You can eat like kings, and you know what you're gonna eat there? Pigeon pie. Yeah. And it's gonna.
That's all they eat in Britain.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't even want
Katie,
pigeon
can
pie.
you make pigeon pie?
I will try to make pigeon
please
pie.
don't make pigeon
Exactly. Well, what if I just make like a fondant pigeon on top of a pie?
that's
okay,
adorable.
that's good. Or maybe we could have like Cornish game hen pie.
Ooh.
That sounds like a little more sanitary.
Yeah.
Than
What about
pigeon pie.
just chicken
Like-
pot pie?
or like apple
that's
pie.
Apple. Those are all good.
Yes.
And maybe they'll all be at the Yule Ball.
Ooh.
I don't know. But it looks like it's going to be really spectacular. Probably $1 jillion to get in because there's reserved seating. But hopefully you can dance with your Klaus. Is that his name?
Crumb. Victor Crumb.
Victor Crumb.
Uh-huh.
I was
Yes.
way off.
I'm
You
sure
got
there's
the
a
K
Klaus
part.
at
Yeah.
Hogwarts,
Yeah.
I'm
But if
sure.
you can meet your Victor Crumb there,
Mhm.
and I think that's what we all want.
Also, if it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th, that sounds like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Does that mean it's Friday the 13th?
Yes, so it's a
Ooh.
spooky Yule
Yule
Ball the first
Mhm.
day.
Anything could happen.
Maybe
Anything.
dead old Cedric will be there.
Oh,
Oh.
a dead Cedric.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Dreamy.
That-
Also nearly headless Nick's death day party.
Yay!
No, that's in
Hi.
October.
Snape. Let's bring
Yule
back
Ball is
Snape.
different.
Hey,
And I just
Too
want to
soon?
make
Too
sure,
soon.
are we on the thing? I just want to make sure that just give me a second, everybody. Okay, cool. I just worry. I just wanted to see myself, and I wasn't seeing myself, and I was feeling really weird.
we all need to be seen.
I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm scared.
Valid.
Yeah. So I kept this in because I know we're pretty much on the same pages of what we're reading. But I finished a book,
Oh.
and I'm really excited about it. I finished Skinwalker by Faith Hunter, and it was fabulous, and I would recommend it for everybody. It's like it's vampire-y, it's supernatural, but it's also a really good character. So, did anybody else read or start or end a book?
No.
Okay, then it's just me
I
too.
started a book.
You started a book.
I did. It's Amber Tamblin's new book called Any Man.
Oh.
Have you heard of it?
I
It's
didn't know she.
terribly depressing.
Oh.
Like
it's really good.
depressingly bad? Or
No,
like
no,
a
no.
sad story?
It's about a woman who goes around raping men.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. It's very
Wow.
serious.
so,
it's
it's
like
fiction.
yes.
Okay.
But it's
Dang.
like because have you read any of her stuff? She's a poet, so
Mm-mm.
it has like a lot of prose and different structure, plays with structure and
Oh my
stuff. And yeah,
gosh.
it's very.
Amber Tamblyn is in like Sisterhood of the
Yeah.
Traveling
Yeah,
Pants.
Yeah.
thank you. I just
So-
want to make sure I look crazy.
Pants to rape. I get
Not
it.
a big leap there.
Not a big.
But anyway, it's
yeah.
really good.
Is
I mean,
it good?
What's
yeah,
the
it's
title again?
Any Man.
Any Man.
Any
By
Man.
Amber.
Oh.
Amber
Goes
Tamblyn.
for
Wow.
Well, good. I'm glad that 2 people have read books. Any other thing over here?
I'm still reading Handmaid's Tale. It's
Great.
really good.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I keep interrupting you with all these silly books, but
No, I love
we're a
it.
book
Yes.
club and we
Yes.
have to do this.
Yeah.
And this was a good book.
Okay,
I want to
good.
read the rest of the series of this book.
I kind
Great.
of do.
Well, then let's see if that's what we're talking about right now. Yes! This week's book by Sarah Wynn. I think the consensus is that it was a good book. But
Yes.
let's talk about it first. We're going to talk about the plot of it so you know what we're talking about at home. So everybody, like, help me out because I don't remember anything. But do you like my ghost picture that I put on
Yeah.
there?
I do.
love it.
Uh-huh.
It's an
I didn't-
accurate representation of the ghosts.
Of the ghost. Naked and sad and
Yeah.
With the
Cute.
anime eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're really cute. So I think so let's each like go down and think about what the book was about. So Akira is the main character.
Yes.
She gets a job. She gets a job at a place that is very ambiguous.
Called
Tess and
Good
Bear?
Directions?
General
General
Directions.
Directions.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
Good
You were close
Directions.
enough.
Gave good directions later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I think it was really exciting because there was a teenager at the very beginning of it. I'm like, why is that teenager talking to her?
Yeah.
But we find out very soon in the book that there is a haunted car, and Akira, our hero,
Mhm.
can see and talk to ghosts.
And he's a ghost in the car named
Yep.
Dylan.
Dylan?
The car isn't named Dylan.
No.
The ghost is.
The car is a Taurus.
Yes.
Oh, a black one, right?
Yes.
Which
Okay.
used to be my favorite dream car because we took a family trip to Florida. And it was our rental car.
Was there a ghost?
Was
in
it black?
There might have been, but I'm not Akira, so it was just
Oh.
Dylan was wasted on me.
Oh.
You know,
Gosh.
Dylan's a little young for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Maybe
15.
not at the time.
He's 15.
I'm still
Well,
like, when did he die though? Do we really know?
I think
don't know.
it was relatively recent. You
Was
know, I got the feeling that it was within like 5 or 6 years. That was
Okay.
my personal feeling
Still
on
more
that.
than 3 years, still legal.
So he's an 18-year-old in life,
There you go.
15-year-old forever
There you
looking,
go.
I
There you
guess.
go.
But he's old.
Ghosts don't follow those
Yeah.
traditional
You
rules
can
anyway.
do a ghost at any
Yeah.
age.
No one's gotten arrested
So
for
the
that.
next thing that happens is that Akira gets it on with her boss.
Best part of the book.
Yes.
Do you think that was the best part of the book?
I was very aroused.
Okay.
I
Spicy.
understood.
It
I
was.
don't read like those romance novels or
Yeah.
anything, so I was
Oh,
like,
you
oh,
don't
I
know.
understand now, like why women are into this.
Oh, we
Okay.
should have prepared a passage to read.
Oh, we should have. I don't have
With a
anything.
sultry voice.
I just
Yeah.
remember he slid into her, and I was like,
Oh,
oh,
nice.
that was-
wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've read some really, really graphic romance novels, so this was like pretty tame for me.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job of not.
They
I think
did.
if they were
They
like, keep
kept it
pounding her
classy.
super hard, I would have been like, ooh,
It
maybe
was
not.
classy.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But it
I
was
keep it
like,
Good pace.
to me, it was a good pace, and she gave him a science lesson.
Yes.
Yeah, he learned something.
Which, okay, that was the weird part. Like, would you really be able to like keep up with your lesson during that whole thing?
Well, apparently she was
Akira
very,
can.
Yes.
Yeah.
That part, I'd be like, I probably would have stopped talking like once
be
he
like-
slid in.
Just a second.
It's like enjoy
Forget
the moment,
frequency.
lady.
Yeah, I know. I'm like the frequencies, man.
Uh-huh.
the,
I
fr-
couldn't do that.
the kinetic energy and the
There's
Oscillation.
some freaky
The
mess
oscillation.
going on.
I think it was beautiful. I mean,
It
it was
was.
really
It was
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like the sex scene?
Yes.
You didn't say anything.
Oh
about it.
no, I was
had
just
to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
So
my
also
ass is
the
sticking to
boss is Dylan's uncle.
The
Yes.
boss is that's a
That's
good
where the
way.
connection.
Zane.
Zane
Zane.
is the boss, and he is the like he's not the CEO of General Directions. He's like the what was
Well,
he?
they called him like the department. Well, not the department head, but the executive of special affairs.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's like a family company,
It is.
so he's pretty much like
Yeah.
part
Right.
owner.
But he wasn't married before, so it's just special.
So yeah, that's I think is where we can come into the part where Zane's family, the boss that she gets it on with, he is part of a very special family. They all have like gifts.
Yeah.
Gifts. and
Quirks.
Quirks,
Yes,
as
quirks, I
Akira
like that,
says. And they can see the future or find things. Zane can find things that he touches that are like that doesn't make sense.
He has to touch the person to like help find the thing.
Yeah, or touch a picture of like a
Yes.
diamond to find a diamond, right?
Yes.
Is that right?
From what I gathered, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he helps find lost children and
Drugs
Like
that
valuable
people,
items,
yeah,
drugs.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
treasure.
so they
Yes.
help out the government sometimes.
do.
And then he
Or
helps
grieving
Akira
families.
find her groove.
He found that G spot,
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
and her frequency resonated.
And that's what
ghost
we all
spot.
want.
Yes.
A ghost spot?
Spot.
The ghost spot.
G-spot.
Ghost spot.
Great. So, and then I think, in my opinion, this is where the story starts. And
After
you
the
can all say it after the sex. I was like, well, that was sudden. Okay, here's the
was.
plot. Go. And then it was like, now she's helping ghosts. So let's talk about how it goes from the boss sex to the helping ghosts.
Well, I think it kind of started when he admits, like, oh, you passed the test by picking that car.
Yeah.
And then it all kind of comes together of like, oh, we brought you here because we know that you see ghosts. And
Okay.
so that's kind of when it picked up for me. Because at first I was like, who the hell are these people? What's this weird ass
Yeah.
job
Well, and she's a
taking?
physicist, and she thinks she's getting a job doing something with
Yeah, the
Feels
lab.
like-
Because,
skills,
yeah.
and she
yeah.
feels a little bit duped. But
Yes.
Right. Yeah, and I think that was a good conflict in that like, oh, well, okay, I like this boss, but I'm on here under false pretenses.
right for 2-year contract.
Yeah.
For a 2-year contract. I don't know what I'm doing, but hey, I'm going to bone this guy.
Yeah.
I bought her a pool table, so
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, if somebody bought me a pool table, I don't really like pool that much, but damn, I would bone him. It's expensive.
That
great
is.
And you're playing around with like sticks and balls, and like it's
Yeah.
a pretty good
bending
setup.
over
And you're
Yeah.
And there's a leather couch right in the corner.
Yeah.
I mean,
perfect.
Uh-huh.
Perfect.
that's seduction office right there. If I
I
ever
know what
knew
he
one.
was doing.
So then the next thing that happens is Akira decides against all of her judgment to help ghosts. And she helps another ghost who happens to be the mother of Zane.
But first, she realizes that they can be helped because she didn't think they
Oh,
could for so
right.
Yeah.
long.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the ghosts that live in the house that she rented, she realized that they're them and the missing boy and father she goes to see, and just a series of circumstances where she realizes ghosts can move on and she can kind of help them do that.
Right. Oh, and that's great. And then so she knows about being possessed, and that's where we find out that Akira has had a very abused childhood because she would get possessed and her dad had to like hit her with a hammer
Yes. Yeah.
to like make her wake up. I know, but it's like
It was a little strange.
That was an interesting way of getting her unpossessed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh,
Because like the pain would shock the
Yes.
ghost spirit
Yeah.
out of her
ghosts don't like
body.
pain, yeah.
But they
Yeah.
like blood.
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, that was.
So, you
So
have to
wouldn't
hit her
that
with
kind
a
of
hammer.
counteract?
Arbitrary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently outside
No
blood because
cuts.
internal bleeding was okay.
Yeah.
Yes. She can have broken ribs,
It's fine.
broken hand,
Yeah.
broken jaw,
Yeah.
and just,
But,
yeah.
oh yeah.
blood.
So that was like a good revelation. So those at home, if you're possessed, get hit
Just
with a
beat
hammer.
yourself
Yes,
up.
Yeah.
smash
Break
your
your own
hands with
hand.
it.
Throw
Yeah,
yourself down the
exactly.
stairs.
So then it leads to her meeting Zane's mother, and she is an angry ghost. She is a red outline ghost, which is a very important thing that we'll talk about later. And so she is like not all conscious of what she's doing. She's just evil, right? Is that what?
She's
not
basically a
control her
cokehead
emotions.
ghost, is how
Yeah.
they.
Cokehead
Yeah.
ghost.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
And so her energy starts sucking other ghost energy and rips them apart.
Just
a
like a
whirlpool.
cokehead.
Yeah.
It almost like re-killed Dylan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And Dylan again is the haunted car boy.
Not
So
that
it's his
dope.
grandmother.
Yeah.
Not the Dylan that just walked into the room.
No.
Yeah, no.
Just ignore him.
Yeah.
He's a ghost.
Yes.
There's another
Like,
Dylan in here.
Have you ever seen
It's
Being...
spelled differently.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. So then
The girly way.
we're just gonna get through the rest of the plot and then
herb
really discuss it.
Yeah.
So Akira dies because she lets
Zane's mother.
Zane's mother possess her, and then she's like, "Whoa, I'm sorry, I didn't know." I don't know how I feel about Zane's mother's ghost, but then she lives again because they find her in the tunnel.
Yes.
And send her back, and so she's one of those generic like, "Oh, I'm dead, I'm alive,"
Yes.
Yeah.
and stuff
There
like
was some
that.
science. They had like a defibrillator.
Oh, yeah, they had
Oh
some-
yeah, I thought
It
that
shocked
did-
her body.
Oh, it
Uh-huh.
shocked that's
brought
what
her
it
back.
was.
Yeah.
I
So
thought
she
it
couldn't
was
just go lay down. They had to do some science with it.
Okay, okay, good. Because I thought it was just like the magic of love, and I was about to be like,
Yeah,
No,
not quite.
Not the magic.
okay, thank God.
Science.
And I was like, "Come on, love."
I was like, come on, science. But anyway,
Science
so
wins.
then like she comes back alive and they get engaged with Zane. Zane and Akira get engaged and they live happily ever after. And there's a baby on the way.
Yeah.
She knocked up.
She's
Yep.
knocked up because they had sex like 1,000 times.
He slid in 1,000
Split
times.
in 1,000.
It was like a
times.
baseball game, just
So she's-
nonstop.
I did like 10,000 times. But I'm assuming that happens
Not just
multiple
once.
times.
No, it was very straightforward. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well, he never technically slid out
He never came
all the way.
So we'll get to the science of sex in a moment. Let's
Do you come all the way? No.
yeah.
God.
We'll talk about Zane's dick in a moment. So
That's
actually,
the deep truth.
How deep did it go?
we'll get to that moment. Can we get to the book cover one more time? Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of discussion questions because we did the plot, but I feel like we all have some deep ideas about what's going on in the book, how things work in the book. So I'm probably gonna skip around with my questions that I asked you because I think we've discussed a lot, and I think that was much more helpful doing
Yeah.
the plot. So okay, that's good. But so I asked before, like. For me, after the sex is when the story started, but for you guys, it started when she started, like when she was talking to ghosts, like talking to Dylan.
Not even just talking to Dylan because that was still like, why is she talking to these people?
Yeah.
It was, or why did she have this job? It was more when Zane came up to her and he's like, well, you passed the test and you picked this
okay.
car and you picked this house. And
Okay.
when it was kind of clear of like why they had her there. And
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Did the story start in the same place for you, or did it start at the beginning? Did it start like where would it have started? Like I feel like it took a while to take off, and that's just me.
Yeah, no, it definitely did. Because, I mean, it was like, okay, this airport scene is interesting. But again, like Megan said, what the hell is up with this goddamn teenage kid in the backseat of the car? Like, he's like...
I was like, is he the cab driver? Or
I
why is he in the back?
Like, why is she there? You know? And then for me, like, the story started when she was in the town and, like, getting to get a feel of what everything was about. And, like, she had done the interview, signed the contract. And that's, to me, when the story was, like, starting to pick up. And then she picks the house and she picks Rose and Henry. And, you know, so, yeah.
And I thought a key moment was when he said, "This is a town of psychics."
Yes, yeah.
And
there's
now
quirks.
that I just thought of that just now, but so I mean, yeah. So I'm like really into like magical towns and like special places.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, but I don't know. It seemed like a slow upstart. Do you think that? Do you think that?
I get that. I think for me, I was interested right away because of Dylan, because of the questions there. Like, is he the driver? Is he just with her because he's related somehow and she had to bring him with her? Why'd she leave him in the car? That seems rude in Florida. But then when you find out he's a ghost, it seems okay. So
Yeah.
she's going to be having these really upfront interactions with them. It's not difficult for her to do.
Right. Okay. Any thoughts on that, Heather?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was a kind of clever way to start it because it's like, who the heck is this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh yeah, ghost. It's a ghost story.
Where's
Yeah,
the
sometimes-
ghost?
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was shocked there were so many ghosts in this story.
And less gifts. There's just the gift of the pool table.
Oh,
Yes. Well, I don't know. Maggie did gift her that
Food?
when she exactly when she
True.
first came. So Maggie
Oh,
said
I
it
I
was
wanted
awesome.
to know her more.
Yeah, I wanted to know her too.
They should have delved delved
Yeah, delve.
into
Delving?
I'm gonna say dove into the town a little more. Like, what were
That's
these
what
other
I
quirks?
really
and-
wanted
Yeah.
to see
Like,
it.
why was it a town of psychics?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to know like who was the like the janitor of that school or whatever.
Yeah.
Like was he a psychic?
I knew that was gonna spill.
Yeah. I'm the janitor.
Or did it ever say like why Dylan died?
He overdosed of drugs.
But it
yes.
said he overdosed, but like was
Because
he
he
having a
was
rough
trying to
day,
have
or
no, he was trying to have he was
just-
trying to trigger a
Yeah.
psychic.
He was trying to force a power, like
Yeah.
be like the rest of the family. So he
Okay,
was
I
trying
missed
to.
that then.
Yeah.
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 It was
a
very.
real
It was
quick
just.
It was.
yeah.
It was like a one sentence.
It was
thing.
like a
Yeah.
throwaway
Uh-huh.
line,
Yeah.
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 So we know
Yeah.
that Dylan died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his
so-
aunts. Could we talk about the other characters? Because
Yeah.
one of his
Yeah.
aunts can see the future.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
What is? I don't know. What did they all? Do?
What can Lucas do? Lucas can read minds. Lucas is Zane's older brother
And Dylan's dad.
and Dylan's dad.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the mother, I don't know what she ever could do.
It was something to do with like money because they touched on it with Dad, the Max, like you
Right.
know having like an idea of what was going to happen and those lucky feelings, and then she was like for certain, especially when it came to money. That was like a weird
that's
thing
weird,
to like.
yeah.
I think they mentioned it just because they're like, well, why does this family have so much money to
Yes.
invest in all
Right.
these?
Yes,
Right.
yeah,
Sweet
yeah. They were
things.
trying to explain that. So,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of their gifts were just like seeing the future, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the guys, they had different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I think the dad, which was named
Max.
Max.
Uh-huh.
God, I'm so bad at this. Max could see the future as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. And one of the sisters, there were two sisters, right?
yeah.
they
Natalie.
Grace and Natalia.
Yes,
Natalia.
Natalia. Yes.
So
that's right.
Natalia, or was it Grace? One of them could see the future of Akira being pregnant in a dress.
I think that was Natalia.
Natalia.
Because she's the one who
She's-
drafted the 2-year contract because she was like, you're staying.
Oh, nice. And she's the doctor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, characters, man. I don't know.
That's
then
okay. That's why you have
Grace-
us.
Yeah.
They mentioned her being able to see the future too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
But Grace
did all
had something else, but I don't remember exactly. Grace had something,
Yeah.
and I think it was the same. Maybe it was the same. I thought it would be,
So they
different.
all basically could see the future, and then
Or read minds.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Because
Or
I think
fine.
they said Max for sure was like based off randomness. Because, you know,
Oh.
that was like one of the things. Like, it wasn't like, oh, yes, I can see you walking down a hall in 5 minutes. No, it was like
Right.
random,
Huh.
you know? Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then I just like that it's a whole family
Yeah.
in a whole town. And I'm always really like to read books about towns.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to hear more about the town, like
Yeah.
you said. And like who's the cook or
I
the
know.
cook
Yeah.
lady.
What meal
Yeah.
would you want?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I
Yeah,
think
she
you.
would. She would know what meal you want.
Yeah, I think that'd be great to go into a restaurant and be like, I don't know what I want, and then get exactly what you want.
Yes.
It was
pizza
that
every
was-
time for me.
Yeah.
It'd be probably spaghetti. for me.
Tiramisu cheesecake.
Ooh, that would be good. Oh, but I thought there was an interesting contrast between Akira and how she grew up, and you know, having to hide her powers and be beaten in order to live,
Yeah.
and then how Zane was just like, oh yeah, she's all this and she has all these powers, and Akira's like, shut up, stop telling
Yeah.
people, and Zane's like, why? My mom said just fly free.
And Akira was probably more powerful than the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think. I mean, as far as like a clear power.
Yeah.
So that was good. Yeah. So, a love story. How much was this book a love story to you?
All of it.
The best part.
My favorite part.
And why is a love story important in a book like this?
I don't know that it necessarily was,
Okay.
but I just kind of like that little. I'm like the Nicholas Sparks kind of fan. I don't read often. When I do, it's usually super cheesy.
Nice.
So I kind of like that little touch in it. So I was like, oh, it's basically like a book I would read on my own. This works.
Good. Okay, good. I'm glad that we chose that for you then. That's awesome.
I think it gave her like a purpose to stay. Kind
Yeah.
of. Like otherwise she would have just left. I thought.
Mhm.
Like you guys are making me see ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
If it
talk
was
to
like a
ghosts.
creepy ass boss who was like, come find
Yeah,
my mother. She'd be like,
right.
I'm
Oh
good.
gosh,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
so scary.
No thanks.
Yeah, but I think
Hard
her falling in love with him and
Yeah.
made her want
But
to
also,
stay
it was kind of like a familial love because the first love that she realized was that she loved Dylan.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it was like the next paragraph that she was like, she also loved Zane. But I love that she loved Dylan
Yeah.
first.
And I
That
like
was-
that they used
yes.
the word love
Yeah.
for
Yes.
Dylan. Like,
Yeah.
like he's my nephew as
Right.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was great.
And the stuff that she did for him was so sweet.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
like, let me show you how to like do some things. I can't tell you everything, but here, you can get away from the car. You don't have to stay trapped.
Stretching.
And
yeah.
then it's like, oh, I want that car so that way the haunted car can come live with me at my
Mhm.
house and you
Aw.
can have company. That was
Yeah.
so sweet.
And then the house she chose
had
Had
ghost
friendly
had
company.
like friendly
Yes,
ghosts that
yeah.
also needed help.
Oh,
A
'cause,
gift
yeah,
of
when she
ghosts.
was oh.
Got it.
There we go.
What
But-
did you say?
A gift of ghosts.
Oh,
yes,
I
yes.
get it. I get it.
But I remember when she was house hunting, speaking of not so nice ghosts, and the old lady was flipping her off. She's like, yeah, no, I don't want that house.
I wouldn't either if I could say ghost.
Yeah, that ghost was very like, no, you ain't living here.
That's funny.
See, those are the ghosts I kind of want to know the story about. Like
Yeah.
the mother holding like her dead baby. I'd be like, yo, what happened to your baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you dead?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you a good witch or a bad witch?
But yeah, that was the Henry and speaking of love stories, we can talk about Henry and
Yeah.
Rose.
Yes.
Because there was a lot missing there that I wanted so much. I'm like, because he died much later, he got married.
Right.
They were a different race.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's amazing because they
Yeah.
were like both from a long time ago.
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to know
Mm-hmm.
what the heck happened.
Yeah.
And,
So Henry and Rose are the two ghosts that are living in the house that she decides to rent.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
She goes into when she's viewing houses and places to rent. She goes in there. It's like nice and warmth and happy ghosts, and
Like, ooh,
Yeah.
visitors.
she said like it felt like home right away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
the ghost boys who were only out in the yard, but even the other ghosts couldn't really communicate with them because they were
Uh-huh.
fading.
Yeah, they
and
were
so
like.
we never
just-
learned their
yeah.
story either.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they knew Rose at all, or
I think they
Yeah.
were. I think they were really old.
Yeah,
like, and
maybe
that's why
so.
they're fading. I think it was because, like they were before Rose got there.
yeah,
Yeah.
And I think that.
So then, this kind of jumping around, but fading, does that mean that like your path is there and you're ignoring it, or you've just been around a long time? Because
think
for
it's like
Henry,
you-
like his
no.
path was there.
Yeah,
and
I
had
think it's
been
when you
holding it.
ignore the path and then just decide to
Oh.
stay,
Yeah.
stick around. Is how I read it.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
I
you
wonder,
saw your
like, those
tunnel.
boys ignored
Yeah.
it then.
Yeah, and then they
Huh.
just
They
kept.
were
They were on a
playing.
loop.
Yeah, they're like,
They were
nah,
playing-
we're just gonna play.
yeah.
In
We'll
the
just be
pool.
stuck here.
That's funny. So I guess it's many love stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that was a common theme throughout the book? Is like love?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as much as I don't like to admit that, yes, I agree.
That
Help!
stinks.
My phone, my Negro escaped.
Oh no, your Negro. Oh, I get it. That's
Oh,
a race thing.
That's a race.
and I
thing.
said it out
Oh,
loud.
I did.
I was all their
too.
knee is hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I didn't mean to use the word race, but now I really regret it.
Yeah, no,
So-
same. I'm gonna not read comments out loud anymore.
Not until
when
I'm
I'm
aware
concerned
of-
for someone's knee. I have knee problems, so
You do
You
really.
should get that
Yeah.
knee checked out.
Yeah. I really should.
So that's great. That's a good. I think that makes me feel better. I always have to talk to you guys about the story because I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this because I thought the boss sex was just stupid, but I feel like
I
was like,
needed it.
I know.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could have gone without it, but and then you wouldn't have an understanding that she would be pregnant. So it was
Yeah.
necessary.
It was
I agree with
necessary,
Megan. It was needed.
but it was like
I think they were kind of setting it up from the start that they were gonna like be because they talked about him
Yeah.
being like
Yes, and-
handsome and attractive. and-
Yes, and
But
how
so I
about
was
the
kind of
wavy hair
like
and the
waiting
blue
for that to happen
eyes.
for most of it. I think.
Yes.
And so I'm going to skip a few questions down because, like, okay, why does their relationship work? Because my question is, yay! My question is, okay, they were both, like, really reluctant to have relationships. Zane was, like, all about being a ladies' man,
Mhm.
and Akira was like, well, I'm a freak. Why did they... Is it because Zane had that family that made him open to her abilities that they worked out? But what makes Akira so special? Is it because she can talk to ghosts? Is she compassionate? I mean, like, why does their relationship work to you guys?
I think yeah, he was kind of the first person that she could talk to about this power and be open about it,
Mhm.
and he didn't like beat her because of it, or like
woo.
he handled it well too. It was
Yes.
like
Yeah.
a positive thing, and it was just kind of a normal thing for him. So I think that's
Okay.
what she was.
Yeah, and then she would talk about how like any other guy she would tell about, he's like, you need to see a psychiatrist, or like,
Yeah.
and he was always
Yeah.
just really concerned about like, are you
Yeah.
okay?
That was
I
the
don't know.
one thing I highlight. The one thing I highlighted on my Kindle was he was like, "I'm not gonna hurt you, not now, not ever."
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
like I know you guys are like, "Woo," but I'm like, ugh. Not
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But
They're fictional characters. They can hold on to that.
that's true. Yay,
true.
fiction!
If this was a guy I would be dating, I'd be like, "You're such a liar."
You're a liar.
Yeah,
But in the
exactly.
book, you're like, oh,
Yeah, I was like,
so
I need a
cute.
I
scene.
believe you.
Okay, so let's get to
I
the
only
meat of
believe
this.
it when people see ghosts and tell the future. Then I believe that they would never hurt
that
them.
that is love right there. So I really wanted to talk about this. The ghost rules. Akira said that there were like rules that ghosts had to follow, like the red outline ghosts are evil and not in charge of their own lives.
Emotions.
Yeah.
There's faders. There's ghosts that you can just talk to. What do you guys think about those ghost rules? Do you think they like line up with like mythology or not mythology, like fable lore? How do you like them? Do they make sense to you?
I think they made sense in the story.
Okay.
Yeah, especially people being tied to like what they died around, you know, like the car and like, you know, she got Dylan's hopes up. So maybe it's a spark plug or something, you know, because when she crashed the car, you know, she's like, oh God, please don't destroy it, because she didn't want to lose Dylan. And so,
Right.
you know, it was interesting to have that concept. I kind of liked them. They made sense.
Although there were a couple ghosts that weren't tied to places, because she mentioned one that had followed her to her house and stuff, and we never learned why.
Yeah.
So
Or
some
like
of
the
the rules
father
felt
and
a
son.
little arbitrary.
They died at like a quarry, right? And then
Yeah.
went back to their house.
Well, the son died at the house, and then the dad.
Died at the quarry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
But so some of them were a little confusing.
yeah,
Yeah,
Lucy
like
Goosey.
why were they tied and some weren't?
Yeah. And then like where like my question was, they go to the pearlescent place.
Right.
And then I think
Yeah.
it's there that they choose to go down back to Earth or to go pass on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And I don't know if that's tangible enough for me to understand.
Right.
Well, I was
but-
curious because like the dad with the young boy, like he couldn't see the tunnel, but the boy did and took his dad with him, and so then
Right.
supposedly they passed
So you get
on.
like a ticket.
But then when Rose and Henry did that, right?
Yeah.
I just assumed Henry would take Rose with him, but then she came back.
And
Yeah, I was
Henry came
confused
back
how she
too.
came back.
Yeah.
But he was
Oh,
like a
yeah.
total fader.
And then you couldn't see him.
Right.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was weird. Like I don't know. It was interesting to me because they just seem to have a lot of rules that I didn't understand. I mean, I liked it. I love ghosts. Don't get me wrong, and I love ghost lore and all that. But I just was like, well, what are the real ruals there? If you
Right.
pass on, you can come back.
Right. Or only sometimes, or
Yeah.
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 Rose was the one that I was like, "What's you're
Yeah.
gone? Why are you here?"
Came back through the
Yeah.
door.
And then they're like, Henry came too, and he sits over there, and he's
I know. I'm
You
like,
can't
are
see
they-
him, but he's
But
here.
then they didn't really
Yep.
say like maybe Rose was lying about that, or
because maybe she really wasn't ready.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe she didn't really see the door,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she just kind of walked with him, and
then
And he
came
got to
her-
his wife, who was mad at him, and
I love that.
That was.
and then
yeah.
would she let him go back with Rose?
Yeah.
could you
Yeah.
imagine being that wife?
Oh,
Like-
like so mad.
You went back to your 19-year-old girlfriend.
Gross.
We were
Yeah.
married
Stay
for
there.
30 years. You dated her for 6 months.
Yeah.
You didn't even really date her. I mean, it's-
Yeah.
and you just loved her. I think it was cute both ways, but
Yeah.
that was just me. I was just.
It
like,
was cute
wondering.
that he loved Rose, but not if you're his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But
true.
his first, like somebody holding on to their first love, I think that's horrible, but and a bad idea. But if you're gonna be a ghost, go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be a fictional
A
character,
fictional
go for
character,
it.
go for it.
Exactly.
You can do anything when you're a fictional character within the confines of the book. So where do you think that they go when they go to the tunnel? Do you think they go to like the standard heaven and hell, purgatory? Like, do you think that they just go back to that pearl place?
Well, I kind of liked Akira's first, like, because the whole thing started on her paper and her thesis, you know, the soluminescent.
Nice,
Uh-huh.
nice remembering
Yes,
that word.
Yes, and
You
I
get
like
5 points.
I like her idea that everyone's just like energy. So I like to think that people get dispersed
Okay.
in a sense, either in a
Okay.
positive way or in a negative way. So that was my take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then how do the two energies like find each other in the afterworld? Would they would be incorporeal energies, correct?
Yeah, because for me, it's like the slate got wiped clean and they're like something else.
Like
So-
the incarnation.
Yeah.
Like a new
yeah.
a new form of being.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
also say there's at least 2 other books, so maybe some of these get answered in those.
Maybe. I want them answered now.
You
So-
should have made us read the trilogy.
You would have hated me if I did that. Like, I don't know. So okay, and I'm sorry to like harp on this, but do you think more plot was necessary? I do. I think that there needed to be a little bit more plot
Just a little
to the
bit.
book,
Yes.
like as a whole. Because if we went down, we did what happened in the book. She came to a town. She worked for a place. She did her boss. She helped the ghost, and that was it.
Yeah.
Like I was good. I mean, I liked it, but I feel like maybe more things should have happened, more helping. I don't know. It was a short book, and again, like we've talked about this before, that maybe there was a time constraint on how long the book should be. But I'm like, I want more helping and more
I
discovery, and I
felt like
urged.
there was a little too much helping, maybe.
Really?
Like, because I felt like the plot was going to be focused around the mother and like why they wanted her
Right.
there for the job. But then it went like, oh, we're going to go to North Carolina and help this
Right.
out. And that felt kind of like thrown in there. But I guess if you
okay.
look at the plot as like her figuring out what this power is and like
Okay.
what ghosts are, I think it fit in that kind of plot.
Well, I agree. North Carolina, I think, was more important than I gave it credit for, because that's where she learned she could help ghosts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. What do you guys feel about the plot?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in 180 pages, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I
then
think
when they
squeezed
did
in
get to
as
the
much as
mom,
they could. Yeah, but when they got to the mom, it was
it was
okay,
like
and
one
bam, bam.
chapter, and
Yeah,
it was
it
like,
was like
I'm possessed for 5 seconds, and now I'm down, and oh, happy
I'm
ending.
alive.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I
Because
felt
it's
like
like
we
Zane
could've-
beat me. No, I can't. Zane beat me. No, I can't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She made such a big deal. I thought that he's gonna have to do
Yeah.
something, and he didn't, which
think
is
he-
like fine.
yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like I hope he does, but you know,
Yeah.
She
But it
deserves
was-
to be beaten.
But yeah, it was
Yeah.
rushed. It was very crammed. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of wish they drug that out a little more than.
Like more intrigue regarding the
Yeah.
mother. I
Yeah.
think
Yes,
maybe more of
yeah.
a mystery. That's what I
Yes.
was hoping for the whole book was mystery.
Yes.
But not everything's a mystery. Some
No.
things are just doing your boss and helping ghosts.
I think I wanted more evil ghosts because I was
Yeah.
telling Megan on the way here that even the ghosts that were scary at first, like the dad that she thought was going to be scary, wasn't, and then the mom
Yeah.
wasn't really either. When
Yeah.
she possessed her, she was like her normal self, and then when she saw her in the pearly place, she was like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't know." Like there was
Right.
no bad ghost,
No.
and I'm sure that there are, like the
Yeah.
mad lady who was flipping her off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And was that mad lady even like red tinted? I don't even know.
Yeah, right.
or was she
wonder-
just a moody lady?
I wonder if she
Yeah.
talk like in the next 2 books, if she
Yeah.
like does any flashbacks or anything, because she talks about the ghost that did possess her and her crazy, insane.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is we're gonna have to finish reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dang it.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Let's vote on our next book, A Gift of Ghosts 2.
So I want to talk about Akira a little bit. How
So-
do you feel about her?
I had already mentioned this to Brittany. Did it say that she was like Asian in the beginning?
Not at the beginning. I think it was.
Yeah.
So
later.
that threw me off like 20 pages towards the end of the book. It mentions like her Japanese mother. So
Yes.
I was picturing like this dark haired, like basically just typical white chick. And then I felt like it threw in like a different character. Like that typical white chick was replaced by like this half Asian lady. And I was like, oh, Akira's new to me now. So I was like, why didn't they? I felt like they
Give a
just
little
kind
more
of threw that
descriptor,
in for her.
especially with her last name being Malone.
Yeah, I
that-
thought like hippie parents.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, exactly. Or someone who's way too into anime, because that was
I'm
an anime.
Akira.
Or they did the same thing with Henry. Like I pictured him as like this old white man, and then
Yeah.
like it was an interracial love, and I was like,
Yeah. Wait,
oh,
what?
okay, Henry's
Yeah.
gone now. Like
Yes.
now he's this new guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the author liked throwing in wrenches just to see, what we could, I don't know, to surprise us or whatever.
Yeah.
Like maybe, I don't know.
And that was probably also our bad for just imagining everyone is white.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That's true.
You know.
Well,
That's
I went in.
true.
I thought she was Asian because I was like, Akira. Okay. Oh, interesting.
That's smart.
Well,
yeah,
That's
that
a
is.
smart thing
Yes.
to do.
And I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, hippie. Like
Yeah, because the food choices. I was thinking
She's
yeah, because
either
the food
Asian or
choices.
hippie.
Yes.
I had never heard the name Akira before, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had, and I was thinking Asian, but then I was like,
Yeah.
Malone.
the Malone threw me off. But then if she's it makes sense.
Yeah,
It makes
yeah.
sense. Like
I think it
totally.
just felt like when you're hooked on a TV show and then they like just suddenly replace the character with a new person.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a minute.
And my question is, speaking of, Akira and her, like, Zane, How helpful was he to the plot? Not to the plot, because I mean he like banged her and made her feel better about herself, and it wasn't like love. But in the climax, did he do anything?
He climaxed.
Not that climax.
I think he did quite a bit there.
The other climax, the sub climax.
Well, she wouldn't have been there if it wasn't his mom. And
Okay.
Yeah. And plus, he had the conversation with her possessed with his mom. And,
Just
you know,
say
that
let
was,
her go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that
you
was.
just are hating on Zane, aren't you?
I don't
Why
like
do you-
things.
I thought it was unnecessary for him to take his shirt off to stop a nosebleed.
Yeah.
I know.
But
that
that's
was,
so Zane, though.
That's so Jacob from New Moon 2008.
Yeah. It was very Twilighty.
Do we know what year this book was written?
I think it's a little older.
Is it?
Why?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
Something
remember.
about a cell phone or something. I was like, oh.
And they
I
had
don't
like
know.
Desperate Housewives.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Halo.
That was the one because they said Housewives, and I was thinking like
So
Orange
it's early
County or
2000s
something.
or something like that.
But then they said Desperate. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So Brittany had mentioned that was it Natalia?
Yeah.
Seemed a little like
Alice.
Alice from Twilight. But then I was thinking maybe this was written before Twilight because it had the
And
old
then
stuff in
She
it.
ripped it off from this book.
But she also writes fan fiction. I was reading the little acknowledgments.
Sarah Wynn?
Yeah.
That
So
sounds
that's
like
how
a
she-
fan
that's
fiction
how-
writer name.
yeah.
So this is like 50 Shades of Grey for Twilight then?
Maybe.
This is nothing like 50 Shades.
Great. It's fan
There was
fiction for
one
Twilight.
scene exactly.
So it's like fan fiction of a fan fiction.
Yeah, there we go. Because you have Zane the powerful. Well, and I do have to admit, I did kind of picture Jamie Dornan as Zane at one point.
Did
so,
you?
Yeah. I mean, the way
I
the
don't
hair.
know what I
Yep.
imagine. I don't know.
I don't imagine celebrities. I imagine like my own people. So then when they cast celebrities in the movies, I'm like, that's not him.
He's too
You're
famous.
wrong.
You were supposed to find this person I made up in my head.
That's awesome. So I think, okay, anything else? Any other points we want to make before we get into the deep truth?
I think that's it for me.
That's everything.
Okay, because we're running out of time and I have a really long game for us to play.
Ooh.
So let's do the deep truth. Do you want to start?
So I feel the deep truth was that Akira was a troubled soul trying to find her place in the world, and she kind of found it, you know, with this
Oh.
crazy, quirky little town, and she kind of felt comfortable and let her walls down and found a place. So that was the deep truth I got from this.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
What about you?
I don't know. I agree.
That
I don't.
works?
Yeah, I think like finding love and
Mhm.
a confidence in your abilities because she was always afraid of sharing
Yeah.
that deep dark secret
Yes.
of her
Yeah.
talking to ghosts. But then, yeah, finding a place where she fits.
Mine is, and it's really cheesy. Everyone is special. These are the words that I wrote. Everyone is special, but you, I don't know. I can't read my handwriting. But you, it's everyone is special, but you have to like figure out what you need to do to make yourself happy. And you have to
Oh.
use your specialness because you can't change who you are, like deep down, but you can make the best of what you're given. So that's what my
Oh,
deep truth is.
Okay.
What about you?
Mine's along the cheesy lines of like, don't fight what makes you special. Don't try and hide that, and
Oh, I like
and
that.
kind of try and figure out why you were given these kind of differences, and use that to help you
Nice.
through.
I like
what
it.
about your deep truth?
It kind of feels like you don't know what you think you know.
Oh, I like that.
And also that it's never too late maybe to I don't know, like I think some people think there's like a finality in death, and this had ghosts still learning and growing and everything
Oh.
after death, and then the not knowing well, as a love example, Zane and her both thought that they knew their type, and then they both were like, oh, this isn't at all what I thought I needed in my life, and then they found each other.
Okay.
That's
was cute.
beautiful.
Oh,
Yay.
I
So we
like
found the
that.
deep
The
truth.
cheesy
Oh,
truth.
I did
yes.
like how you touched on like the ghosts were still learning, and I think it
Yeah.
made me a little less scared of death because I was like, oh, I'll just get to like be the same age and hang out with like other
And
ghosts.
then you have the
There you
choice
go.
to fade or go through. There's all
and I
kinds
can
of
either like
choices.
hang out with people that are alive or like people that I haven't seen because they've died. Like,
Yeah.
bring on the death, yo.
Yes.
I'm not ready.
You have
All
so
right.
much more to give.
So now what we've all been waiting for. Let me just go through it's called What Do You Choose or Who Do You Choose? Now, it's like half-assed archetypes. So we're going to make a team, and I kind of made this specifically part of it for Lexi, but she's not here, so that's okay. We're going to just do our own thing.
Okay.
And So we're gonna choose archetypes. So first of all, we're gonna choose our sidekick for our thing.
classic.
We've got John Watson, who I just love that picture of him. It's Martin Freeman, but he looks like super hot.
That's Martin Freeman?
Yeah, it's
Like
the-
a
it's a
sketch.
drawing of
Yeah.
Martin Freeman looking insanely
Like
hot.
The Office Martin Freeman?
Yeah. He plays Watson in the
Yes,
show.
in the BBC
okay.
series with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah. And then we have Renfield, who's Dracula's sidekick. We have Tinkerbell, who's Peter Pan's sidekick. Little John, Robin Hood's sidekick. Piglet, Winnie the Pooh's sidekick. And Sancho Panza, Don Quixote's sidekick. So we are going to choose a team, and you can think of your own goal in life. I guess our goal could be like our deep truth, if you want to figure that out. Who do you want along with you? What sidekick do you choose? Anybody?
Watson.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Watson.
Watson
Piglet.
for me too.
Piglet?
Yeah.
I chose Piglet too. You know why I chose Piglet? He's so positive.
Exactly.
He's like gonna be like, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah,
everyone."
But I'm the
want
type
that.
of person I'd be like, just shut up, Piglet. I don't need this right
Not
now.
me. It would lift me up. I love it.
I would, and he's so cute.
I know. Ugh.
But the Watson is like freaking sexy in that picture. So
He is, but Watson's super helpful.
Yeah, he's
like
really
he's
helpful.
practical and like
he's a
you-
doctor.
Yes, and if you like get up in your own shit, he'll smack you and be like, "Cut your shit out."
And
So-
that's more what I need, like
Uh-huh.
someone to bounce thoughts
Exactly,
off of.
exactly.
Not just
I
like,
would
you
just
can do
like
it.
to point out that Tinkerbell can literally give you the power of flight.
But
Tinkerbell was the worst
she
sidekick.
was.
I know was.
She is
Like, she
good.
went to the
She was
criminal.
Yes.
She
Moody.
she was just
Yes,
trying to
super
seduce Pan
moody.
the whole time.
Yeah,
And she
wouldn't
doesn't
be
really
in
like
love with
girls,
you.
too.
Yeah.
Well,
I wouldn't want her.
Yes,
on
well,
your
Wendy
bad
in
side.
particular, but
Yeah, she
Yeah,
didn't
she's
like
the
me.
girl that's always friends with guys and doesn't
Yes.
have a lot of girlfriends.
Yes.
You know?
yeah, so yeah.
I used to be that person, but then I'm like, you know what? I need
You're a
female.
reformed Tinkerbell.
Yeah, I'm a reformed female. Not that I can make people fly.
Oh.
And then Renfield would just say yes to whatever you wanted to. He wouldn't give you any like opposition.
Yeah, he'd be too slave-like, and then
Yeah.
I would worry about his diet of insects. Like, I don't
Yeah,
think
he's
I could.
pretty creepy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Little John would be pretty good.
I just
Yeah.
know him as a bear.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yes.
put the bear picture up, but then I decided to put that one up because
I think the sidekick you should have chosen from Dracula was Mina Harker.
I don't know who that
Mina
is.
wasn't a. She wasn't a
kind of
sidekick.
nonsense.
No.
Oh
Well,
They
no.
were the two competent people, so
no, it's Renfield.
Yes.
Move on. No, Piglet. So we have so we all have our sidekick. We all
Yes.
have our sidekick. Did you
Yes.
choose your sidekick?
Yeah, Watson.
Watson. Okay. Well, who are we gonna choose now? Our boyfriend.
Yay.
Oh.
Now I did the stupidest ones ever.
Oh.
So we
Gilbert
have
Blythe isn't stupid.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
he's
Gilbert
pretty
Blythe.
obvious.
That's
yeah.
I'm not liking most of these.
Okay, so we have Romeo from Romeo and Juliet.
Little bitch.
No.
Rhett
exactly.
Butler from Gone with the Wind. He's kind of a bastard. Gilbert Blythe, who,
he's
I agree.
yes.
Anne of Green Gables. Marius Pontmercy from Les Miserables. He's just kind of a whiny love character.
Yeah.
Peter Malark, who can kill people, but he's also a whiny love character.
And
and
I was more
Raoul
for
from
the other
Phantom,
guy.
and
Like,
Raoul
his name.
from Phantom of the Opera, a whiny love character as
Yeah.
well.
But
So I go with Gilbert Blythe.
Yeah.
I don't know of Anne of Green Gables. I know she's a redhead, and that's kind of all I know.
well-
vote for Watson from the previous.
I'd probably go
No.
for Rhett Butler.
Yeah.
Red
Like,
Butler
kind of me too.
for your
He
boyfriend
became a douche
because
she was so horrible to him.
Yes.
So
he was pretty like.
I think if you could like return his love, he'd probably be
Yes.
Okay.
He's very charming, very charismatic, and very smart.
got shit done too.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He saved her ass how many times?
Like tons. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna copy you on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Watson and Rhett.
So we
got
all
some
have our
good guys.
boyfriends.
Yes.
Who is your boyfriend, Katie?
Oh, Rhett Butler.
Okay,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
Now we're gonna choose our girlfriend because we're not gonna be one-sided on this. So I chose Jane Bennett from Pride and Prejudice, Sansa Stark from A Song of Ice and Fire,
Uh-huh.
Beatrice from Much Ado About Nothing, Jo March from Little Women, Eliza Doolittle from Pygmalion, and Bridget Jones from Bridget Jones's Diary.
Sansa.
Joe.
Yeah, Joe.
I'm choosing Beatrice.
Oh, nice.
I like Jane.
Jane Bennett.
Yeah.
I was thinking Jane, but she kind of just lets stuff happen to her, doesn't she?
Exactly.
Well, she's a good girlfriend. Then.
Right? Yeah. There's fine.
Yeah, and I wouldn't choose Bridget Jones because her life's a mess. Like
She is.
all
I
Oh,
basically
the
am
time.
Bridget Jones. I
Yeah,
don't need
I
to
know.
date
I
You've
know.
myself.
already seen Bridget
Me
Jones.
too.
You don't need it.
Yeah, I'm too confused to have Bridget Jones.
Yeah.
Like that's why I choose Beatrice. She can plan.
Yeah.
She's got her stuff.
She does have a good head on her shoulders.
She does,
Uh-huh.
and she like makes time for love in her life,
Yeah.
even though she's trying to control everybody else. I don't
Yeah.
know. Who was yours?
Joe.
Joe.
Yep.
Joe's good. Why do you choose Joe?
She's a writer.
Oh yeah,
She's like strong-willed and
that's true.
can't be tied down.
Yeah.
That was kind
But
of
then
like
she
my
falls in
thing.
love with a professor.
Well, yeah.
But you know,
She sells her hair.
yeah.
She does stuff.
really
She
like Joe.
sacrifices
She does
and
stuff.
she's caring.
I like women who breathe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I
Yes.
do too.
Right?
Okay, so we have our sidekick, our boyfriend, our girlfriend. Who do we need next?
Our baby.
Our nemesis.
Ooh.
So I have Lady Macbeth from Macbeth, Grendel from Beowulf, Mephistopheles from the Faust legend, Shere Khan from the Jungle Book, Annie Wilkes
Such a good
Yeah.
picture.
from Misery. I chose the worst one, and then Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter.
I'm going with Draco.
I was gonna say
Uh-huh.
same. He's kind of like the most of a little bitch, so
Right?
He'd be
But
the
anyway-
easiest to defeat.
He's easy to manipulate
Exactly.
too, I think.
Exactly.
But
That
I
was
think a
my
good
point.
nemesis would be somebody you're kind of evenly matched with.
Nope,
No.
I'm not that
No,
kind of
I'm
person.
also
Yeah.
easy to manipulate. So just
Oh, to tell.
Who do you guys choose for your nemesis?
Remember,
Yeah.
if you pick Grendel, that means that your sidekick has to battle him naked. Most of you pick
no,
Watson.
Piglet.
Go back to
Isn't
Grendel.
Piglet, isn't Piglet already naked?
Yeah, that's true.
So it
I want him
works.
to battle anybody.
Yes. I would stick with Draco Malfoy just because he's just so I don't know. I feel like it would just be easy to fuck with him, and I would want a nemesis that I can fuck with. I want that superiority complex. I think I would be his nemesis. At the bad guy, I think I would be the bad guy in that situation.
You're like Draco. You smell.
Yes.
What? Oh no!
Smelicus pontificalis. Yes.
What about you, Heath?
I think Annie Wilkes. She's
Annie
just
Wilkes is
insane.
So
because
scary.
and
I know.
I feel like that too because I'm a writer, and that's
having
what's
this like obsessed
having a
person.
person like if she liked my writing that much, first I'd be flattered.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'd be like, "Well, get away from me." But I think I don't know.
Kathy Bates is just awesome. Well,
Kathy
I mean,
Bates.
sorry, I know it's
Yeah.
the character, not the
Yeah,
actor,
that's
but
okay. That's okay. My choose, and you guys can help me choose this: Mephistopheles or Shere Khan. Do you think I'm strong enough to fight Shere Khan? No, probably not.
I wouldn't
But
wanna
am
go-
I-
yeah.
Am I like manipulated and like strong-willed enough to be like fucked with by Mephistopheles? Probably not. But it'd be like so fun to be like chosen by Mephistopheles to ruin my life, and I have to
Okay.
battle him every step of the way. And I think that's what my life is right now. So I'm gonna go with Mephistopheles.
Okay.
I just had to
You worked
talk it
through,
out.
yeah.
That's
I
fair.
gotta-
That's fair.
Yeah. Who do we got next? So we got all those. Who was our mentor?
Miss Frizzle.
You're right.
Yeah. Let me read them first. Just kidding. So we have Mrs. Frizzle from the Magic School Bus, Albus Dumbledore from Harry Potter, the Giver from the Giver. If he really has a name, I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. Portia from the Merchant of Venice, Atticus Finch, which we use every week, To Kill a Mockingbird, and the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
I feel like they would all kind of leave you in the lurch.
Just
Even
Maybe
Miss
not
Frizzle?
Atticus.
Yeah.
No,
Miss Frizzle has left her students in some compromising
Right?
areas.
She
She's
has.
like, I'll be
Put
right
them-
back while you
Yes.
swim through this lung. Or
yeah. Yeah, she's put them in compromising
So-
positions. So yeah.
But I think, isn't that the part of teaching is you have to work things out yourself?
that's not how I learn.
Yeah.
I think Atticus might hold my hand the most.
You want somebody to hold your hand.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Dumbledore
I just
would
said I
also,
wanted someone to fight ideas off with, but now
Yeah.
I need someone to hold my hand.
There you
Well,
go.
I guess
But
it
that's why
has
he's
to
the
depend on.
mentor.
Yeah, it depends on the mentor and depends on who you chose as your nemesis.
Yes.
Who you need
Yeah.
help with. What about you guys?
I'm gonna go with Albus. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's also
I-
the same. Like, you'll get left somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you'll
yeah.
like be stronger for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, your punishment is the Forbidden Forest. Have fun, kids. Bye. Oh, you had to play Deathly Chess. Bye. Yeah, so that's how Dumbledore talks in my head.
Dumbledore. That's funny. Okay, so we've got 2 Dumbledores.
Mhm.
Okay, what are you guys?
I just remembered that I chose Draco, and I think Dumbledore would be a good mentor because
That's true.
Draco's kind of scared of him, and
Yeah.
he'd help out with that, I think. So probably Dumbledore.
And I'm sorry, what yours was Atticus?
Yeah, I think I'm just going based on looks of men, which
These aren't very good-looking men in this situation. I do a lot of-
Atticus.
Yeah,
Atticus,
He's
well,
kinda
yeah.
got that, ruffled hair and yeah.
I
I
would
could
go.
pull table Atticus all day if you know what I mean.
He's your mentor. He's your mentor.
should not have taken a sip of tea at that point. I'm glad that I did not. Yep.
This is what my parents don't watch.
I'm not going to choose Miss Frizzle because I think I know more than she does because she teaches the elementary school. And I should be a little smarter than that by now.
You'd be like, I know what lungs do, Miss Frizzle.
I know how tadpoles turn into frogs. So, yeah, we'll do that. So, I don't know. The Mad Hatter, and not the Johnny Depp Mad Hatter. That's not Johnny Depp, by the way.
No, you could have fooled me.
Much like it.
Right?
I think, in my opinion, the Mad Hatter would be a good mentor.
Nemesis?
No, mentor. Because he'd say crazy stuff, and then it would be my job to sort out all the crazy and find the wisdom.
Oh, I don't want that at
Yeah,
all.
that's
Right. I know. I just want the wisdom.
Just tell me what to do.
So, okay, so we all have our mentors and all of that. What do we got next? Who do you want to be your mother? Fairy godmother from Cinderella, Madame Defarge from A Tale of Two Cities, Glinda from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, Gertrude from Hamlet, Lady Bracknell from The Importance of Being... Oh, it's all got cut off. Ernest is the name.
Yes.
And then Molly Weasley from Harry Potter.
Glinda, because I love Uzo Aduba. Uza? What's her
Yeah. It doesn't have to be that Glinda.
My
It could be
mom's
any
also kind of like Molly Weasley. She's not a ginger, but I think she has the same kind of attitude of like, just go along, just do it, get it done. And
Yeah.
So I would like a Glinda of just like, hello, sweet child.
So you want something different than your...
Yeah, I already
than
got
your
my mom.
mother. Okay, cool. What about you guys?
I don't know. It's like hard to say. I'd kind of want the fairy godmother as my mom.
Yeah.
Like, because she was like not. I guess I'm a little independent and I don't really need it. Like Megan, it's like I don't really need a mom in my life. So it's like just be there to give me stuff and wipe away my tears and make me pretty to go to a ball. So yeah, that's
Make me pretty, Mom.
yeah.
That's funny. What about you, Heath?
I think I'll go with Molly. Yeah, Molly Weasley.
She's so
She's just
good.
the best.
She's
is
really.
great.
And, like,
she's a good
remember,
mother.
Like when she's like fighting, you bitch. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
She took down those chicks like nobody's
Yeah.
business.
And I think that Gertrude is a terrible mother, so I'm not going to choose her. Because we would just have a weird relationship, and it would just be wrong. Madame Defarge, I think, would be very caring if I was her daughter, because she wouldn't knit my name into the scarf of names. I don't know what she did, but but the thing I like, and I'm not trying to be contrarian to everybody, but I put a lot of thought into these, like when I was doing it. And Lady Bracknell is so good at being a mother, because sometimes I just need like tough love. Because what she says in Importance of Being Earnest is like, well, it's something like, if you lose one parent, it's a tragedy. If you lose two, it's just irresponsible. And I'm just like, that's tough love.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't say that if she were my mother, because that would be weird, because she'd be like either dead or her husband would be dead or whatever. So I choose Lady Bracknell because I'd be tougher. And if I have like a nemesis and I have a sidekick and all this, then I'm obviously doing something hard. So I need Lady Bracknell to lay down the law. And you guys, again, I'm sorry.
I think fairy godmother for me.
Okay.
I just want the dresses.
Glinda, I just want someone like, oh, okay, you're doing good. Okay, I'll see you later.
I'll float away in the
And then I'll
bubble.
be pissed at her later when she's like, just click your feet. I forgot to tell you that. Oh no.
Mother! Okay, so we've got our mother. And now we need our hero.
I thought it was us.
Well, we're like
Yeah.
the ultra hero.
Oh,
We need
okay.
somebody like that gets us out
Okay.
of when we fall into the quicksand or whatever. So we've got Nancy Drew from the Nancy Drew Mysteries, Sidney Carton from A Tale of Two Cities, Odysseus from the Odyssey, Hermione Granger from Harry Potter, not Poitier, Frodo Baggins from Lord of the Rings, and Queen Guinevere from Arthurian legend.
I mean, Odysseus would take forever to get you.
Oh, I
Way to go.
know.
Nancy Drew would get distracted, I feel.
You think Nancy Drew would get distracted?
Yeah, because, she's always got to solve something.
That she's solving your problem.
No, for me, I would choose Hermione Granger because she can get stuff done in a pinch and she keeps a level head. I'd be like running around like, oh my God, there's plants trying to kill me. And she'd be like,
Okay. She's a great
She's the
hero.
one that tried to find a match whenever the plant was eating them, and then Ron had to remind her she could do magic.
Because she's so freaking smart.
She's very logical,
Doesn't
too.
Keep a cool head under pressure. That's kind of her thing. She panics.
That was only in the first year, though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
She's
she's
an
like such a
older,
badass.
wiser.
She's
Exactly.
like year 8 or 7 or however
Right.
these books work.
And and I'm sorry, she's the one who thought to bring, the purse that was like the TARDIS, so
yes.
that way they can, be prepared for stuff. So
She's
yeah,
very
no,
prepared. She's very
matured.
knowledgeable.
Yes, year 1 Hermione, no. Year 7 Hermione, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
And just to go over a few of them, Sidney Carton, he just wanted to give up his life for the woman he loved, which is sort of heroic, so that's why I put him in there. And Queen Guinevere, they call her the hero of many faces because she's kind of like, you don't know what she's gonna do next.
Oh.
So I'm just
okay.
throwing that out there, but you
She's
guys
not
pick who you
dependable.
want. Yeah, not dependable, but a hero nonetheless.
I feel like there's really only one hero. It's Hermione.
Odysseus and Hermione. Well, Frodo can be a hero. He's kind of a
Frodo just kind of
whiny
like walked
bastard.
along with everyone else as
took a
they like
hike.
defended. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just like carried a ring while everyone else like fought for him.
But that's heroic because it was a sad ring, right?
It was a
It was
sad
an
one.
angry, sad
An
ring.
angry,
Yeah.
it made
kind of
people
angry.
An evil. I was just trying to be nice, but yeah, it's an
Yeah.
evil ring.
Yeah.
Who would your hero be, Heather?
Can I just do Samwise?
Oh.
I thought
Yeah.
that was really wrong.
Yeah,
Choose
he's
who?
a good
Sam?
Samwise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam was more of a hero than Frodo, I think.
Yeah.
I choose Odysseus because he's classic.
Ooh.
He'll take 50 years to get home to you,
But
but
you know what? I have time.
But then whenever he does, he's going to murder all of your suitors and,
move a bed. Wasn't there something
A
about
bow.
a bed?
Yes.
He strung a bow.
What?
Yeah, because the whole contest or whatever.
Yeah, only he could string a bow.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yes.
I
and
don't know if he
shoot
moved a bed. All his
He
people.
flipped her mattress.
Yes.
Oh my God! I choose Odysseus forever.
There was something about their bed.
Be a euphemism.
Yeah, because I was gonna say he moved your bed all right.
I might be thinking of another
Penelope's.
Greek story, but I'm pretty sure there was something about a bed. It was like move 6 inches to the right, and he's like, "Oh, that's not." And she's like, "Oh, you really are Odysseus."
Yeah, that was part of the test. Or
Oh, there was a
whatever.
bigger test.
Yeah.
Well, then
So I'm
he-
not making it up, right?
No, it may. I think I want to say that you're right, but it might be a different.
I want you to say that I'm right too.
You're right, Megan.
And okay, so what were your final answers? I didn't. hear.
Hermione for me.
Hermione and Hermione.
Hermione.
Okay, well then I did a horrible job at choosing the hero. I apologize, everybody. So in 2 weeks we're gonna start getting into spooky territory.
Yes.
Ooh.
So because Halloween is coming up in a long time, so we have at 180 pages, murder of a werewolf. And this might be really fun. I'm just like voting for this one right now. Someone killed a werewolf, Jonathan Tidwell, and made it look like a suicide. But
Too
why?
much like my ex's last name. Next.
Okay.
My ex's full name.
Oh, really? Damn it. Okay, so Gabriel, The Forgotten Painting. This is just a artsy historical mystery. 110 pages. I don't know what that says because I can't read it.
When celebrated author Jack Rogan stumbles upon a hidden diary he can't resist investigating. Honoring the last wish of a dying friend, he is irresistibly drawn into a web of intriguing clues hinting at long-forgotten treasure.
110 pages. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I'll get you to read a silly mystery eventually. So, let's see. We have one more comment and then we'll sign off. You in an anime world where magic is everything, you can have one power. Which element would you choose? Water, lightning, earth, wind, fire. I would choose earth, wind, and fire because do you remember
And it is
the
September.
24th
Yes,
day of
it is. How
September?
fitting.
Yeah, so I don't know. Those are the elements I like the best.
Lightning. I want to be like Zeus.
Okay. So do you want to choose an element just before we sign off? 'Cause-
Air, because I've always wanted to fly.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'll
good
just go
one.
with fire.
Fire!
Why not?
Okay, so we all have our elements. Thanks.
It's so hard for me to make decisions. I can't.
Choose them
I've
all.
been making you make decisions for
I
hours.
know, but this is too many choices at once.
I think you should choose dark or light. That might be
Ooh.
fun.
Oh, that's too hard for me. I froze up. I'm an earth element, so maybe
There we go.
that would be good for me.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that wraps up. Anybody have anything to plug or anything like that?
No.
Improv bagels. Nope. I'm not on bagel. I'm on Improv Donut.
There you
Wednesdays at 7.
I sometimes am. I don't know if I'll be there this week, so we'll see.
Well, I think
Oh,
it's
we don't
off
have it this week, so
it'll
come
be
back
next
next
week.
week.
Oh, well, then
Yes.
I'll see when we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Were you
Look
gonna-
out for Megan.
were you gonna plug a dinosaur thing?
Oh yeah, I was gonna plug a dinosaur. So Heather and I, right now, it's starting 15 minutes ago, but we are gonna be fashionably late. There is a dinosaur dance party at the Natural History Museum, and we're gonna go there, just us ladies, and dance our dinosaur asses off. See you there if you want to come. There's
Door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur.
yeah,
There
they're
you
gonna
go.
play Walk the Dinosaur on
That
loop
was
for
the
4
good.
hours.
Yes.
I already made that joke earlier today. Okay. Well, thank you for coming. And by coming, I mean watching the show. Again, this is
Katie.
Heather.
Janae.
Megan.
Brittany.
And we will see you in 2 weeks when we have read something or other that I don't even want to talk about right now. All right. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you.